Hello and welcome to this short video. It's really a sort of an introduction to Google Drive. Those of you that may have used Dropbox and other services may be aware that Google also has a product out there called Google Drive or Gdrive as they call it. One of the benefits of Google Drive above some of the other services is you don't just get a repository where you can store files, but you get some other tools such as word processors, spreadsheets, and desktop publishing that you can use and collaborate with other users. So let's have a quick look at it. And I've already created a Google account, and so I'm not going to go through in this video about how to create a Google account. It's really just fill in an online form and you create your Google account. And that gives you services such as Gmail, YouTube, and Google Drive. So you get a whole heap of services. Whether you want to use them all is entirely up to you. But so I've now got to Google Drive, and if I want to go to my Google Drive account, I click on it, My Drive, and you see I've got quite a lot of it's junk and stuff that I've put in over the years, but I've got quite a few files uploaded. Now, as I said, G Drive in its simplest form is like Dropbox in that you can just store files in it, documents, images, videos, all that sort of stuff. But where it comes into its own is you can collaborate using Google's tools such as word processor and spreadsheet. So let's have a look at that. So if you go to My Drive, you can see we've got Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Slides, and there's actually some more stuff here as well. Google Forms, drawings, there's a whole suite of stuff. I don't intend in this video to sort of do a how to use every product, because that would be a series of videos in itself. But let's for example go to Google Docs and let's open up a blank document. Now, here it is. It's a blank word processing document. Now, it's untitled. Now, normally if you're using Microsoft Word, your file name when you save the document would be what you would look at when you're actually searching for or looking for the document. So if I put here test document, so if I just go test doc and I hit enter, and you can see that there's my test document. The other advantage here is that this document is already being automatically saved to my G Drive. So I don't have to panic that I work for an hour and I forget to save it and then something goes wrong and I've lost my edits. Now, I'll just type a little bit here. This is a test document. And you can see at the top there, it is saving and all changes have been saved to G Drive. So again, that's very handy. So I'm not going to go on. This video is not how to use a word processor. It's more how you can collaborate using Google Drive or G Drive. Now you've done the test document. You've typed up some stuff. Maybe now you want to share that document with someone. So if you click on the share, you can see at the moment it's private, so only I can access this document. So no one else can actually look at it, share it, do anything else with it. So if I click share, now it gives me some basic features. So I can enter the name or the email address of the person that I want to share it with. And I can either say this person can edit it, can comment on it, or can only view it. And that's a really simple way. Or you can get a shareable link. But before I do that, I'll just click on the advanced features. You can see link to share, only accessible by collaborators, so only people who can collaborate. You can see that I am the owner of the document, and at the moment it's private, only I can access it. Now, if I want to change that, I can change that. I can make it completely public if I want everybody on the web to be able to have access to it. Anyone on the internet can find and access this file, no sign-in requirement. Anyone with the link can access, no sign-in required, or only specific people. So there you've got some options as to how you can give people the level of access required. So I won't put email addresses in because this is a public video, but say anyone with the link. And I then go save. And that's the link. Now, what I can do is I can share the link via Gmail or all these services, but what I would generally do is I would copy this link into an email. I will email it out to the relevant person and say, hey, here is a link to this particular document. Now, I've given this person, anyone who has a link and I can has access to it. You can see anyone who has the link. I can again change it if I wanted to, if I was worried, only specific people. And that means that, again, only specific people shared with specific people, usually their email address. Access anyone, no sign-in required, can view. So that means that anyone can view the link, but you still need to be signed in to edit. But I'll just go back here. So anyone with the link can view it. Now, if you send this link out to someone and they don't have a Google account, they can view this document, but they can't edit it. If you send this out to someone who has a Google account, when they click on the link, it will ask them to sign in with their Google credentials. When they've signed in, they are then able to access and edit the document. And so I'll just go, and here's down here, owner settings, prevents editors from changing access. So in other words, it stops people, if I click on that, it stops people from adding other people that I don't know about, or disable options to download, print and copy. So it stops people download, printing and copying. So again, it's really up to how you want to use this document and what level of access you want to give people. But I'll untick that at the moment and I'll just say done. Now, you've gone back to the document. Now, nothing has actually changed in the document, but if other people were to access this document, you would see up here where my cursor is, that a little box would appear with the name of the person. So if these people were collaborating with me, they would appear up here. And the beauty is I can't show it at the moment because no one else has access to this document, but people can access this in real time, which means you can be sitting here and someone else, can be typing and you can see their cursor moving across the screen, and you can actually see the edits taking place. So multiple people can edit at the same time, rather than a word processing document like Word, where once someone opens it, it's locked, and only that person who has opened it first can actually edit it. Other people can maybe be able to view it, but they can't edit it. And so you can also have a section here, open comments. So again, there's no comments being made at the moment, but you can add a comment. If I wanted to add a comment saying, hey, can you add this to the document? Can you do something like that? I can add a comment. Or I can add notifications, change email notification settings for this document to only yours, to none, or to everyone. So when something happens, you'll get an email notification saying some changes have been made. Along here, you've got editing and tools for the word processor. As I said, I'm not going to go in to all the editing tools that you can use. And you can see all changes saved to Drive. So again, you haven't lost any changes. If you walk away from your computer or you do something and the power flicks, you haven't lost any changes. But just before I close, I'll just close this document now and get out of it. And I'll look back here, and this is back into Gdrive, and I'll look at documents that have been shared with me. Now, this is an example of a spreadsheet. This is for the podcast that I'm a member of, the podcast team, and you can see the last edit was made yesterday at 11:36 by Jacob Jones. So you can see the last person who actually made an edit. So if something's gone wrong, someone screwed up the document, you want to find out who was the guilty person, this gives you an idea so you can find out who's done the last edit. No one else is logged in. Quite a few people use this document. We use it as our running sheet for our podcast, as you can see here. And you can see that it's a spreadsheet. And so it's like, the equivalent of Excel or something like that. And you can see we just use it as a running sheet for our podcast. But it's shared. I didn't create this document, but it was shared with me, but I have editing abilities. So you can see here that I can edit this document if need be. But if the podcast was on, you would see up here 2 or 3 other names of people who would be accessing this document at the same time. So that's really it. It's just a brief introduction to Gdrive, and it shows you that you can create documents, share them, but more importantly, you can collaborate with other people. And I think that's the most important thing. You can edit a document, they can edit a document, the same document at the same time, and it's automatically saved, so you're not going to lose it. So if you've got a document that maybe normally resides on one computer and you want other people to have access, then you can create it using Google Docs. The other advantage is you can actually take, for example, a Microsoft Word document, you can upload it to Google Drive, to your Gdrive, and then you can then import it and convert it into a Google document format, which means then it's editable. When it goes up as a Word document, it's not editable. But when it goes up and you export it, and which I'll do that in another video showing you how to export a document, when you export that document, it converts it into a Google Doc, which means then you can edit it. But I keep saying export, it's really import. But then if you need to take the document and do something outside of Google, you can then export it back as a word processor, as a Microsoft Word, for example, document. So that gives you a chance that you can export documents. You can do lots of things like that. And then if you need to email it to someone, you need to say, put it in a Word document because the person doesn't have that. You can do that sort of thing. So you can create folders and all sorts of things as well. There is a lot of things you can do. And as I say, this video is really just a very basic introduction to how to use it. And this is the generic Google Documents. This is the free version that's floating around on the internet. And all you have to do to access this is to create your own Google account.